Sounds like people are sleepy. Are you sleepy there? That's it?
No, just focused, I think.
Oh.
Vilma, you have a very nice background.
Thank you. I There's a fate of your Gramonci. Da salsa.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all of you. So I can see some beautiful faces all over the world. So welcome welcome all for the first gathering of the year 2022. So today also we have two speakers from Philippines and Brazil. So I would like to invite the first speaker from Philippines, Mr. Jadas Adora. He's an author and a writer at Rex Publishing Company, Philippines, and also an education module developer. And a primary grade school teacher at Lumpenak Elementary School, So today he's going to talk about reading project aligned with positive psychology. So Mr. Adora, over to you.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Is it
Yes,
clear?
we can do. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for the presentation and the introduction. I love it. And good evening to each and everyone from my country, from the Philippines. I'm located here in Western Mindanao, Philippines, far from the Manila, which is the main capital of the country. Okay,
Okay.
so should I start? So should I present my screen or
Yes,
share my screen?
yes, sure, you can start.
Okay, is it already clear or can you see my
Yes,
screen?
yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so
Perfect. Yeah.
once again, good evening. So I'll start. Um, I am teacher Jads Adora, and I am a primary school teacher here in the Philippines. I've been teaching for almost 9 years now, and it's a privilege for me to be given an opportunity to speak in this platform wherein I can share my reading innovation I had started last December because I am using it as part of my reading innovation because I'm solving actually a problem wherein aligned with the pandemic because it's really hard for us teachers to teach reading while we are having a no face to face or no close contact with our learners. So it's really a struggle for us teachers here in the Philippines to teach reading, most especially the key stage one, which is from kinder to grades three. The key stage one composed of kinder, grade one, grade two, and grade three. So um, for me, the better you read, the better you communicate your thoughts in writing, verbal, or action. See the world with knowledge and understand your surrounding with gained perspective. For me, reading is everything. It is because you're aligning the importance of reading for me as a teacher in primary is very great. It is because once a child is able to read, which means to say they are independent. But once a child is find it really hard or struggling to read, so that's a very big problem because of some failures when it comes to academic progress. It's because it will become a problem when it comes to problem solving, when it comes to analyzing, when it comes to interpreting and sharing or communication. So reading is everything for me. Okay, so my topic this evening is all about community-based reading project aligned to positive psychology, play-based learning approach, and do-it-yourself learning material. So it's really a fun-filled community-based reading project. So how did I come up with this reading project? It is because I am addressing a problem in time of the pandemic. So it's hard for us teachers here in the Philippines to teach reading. That is why I use community-based reading project wherein it is aligned to positive psychology and play-based learning approach. So how am I going to implement community-based reading where there is health and safety protocol that we need to follow? That's an issue also. That's a big problem for me because I need to ask the community chief for the health and safety protocol so that I can implement my program. So it's not just me as a teacher who is working in this project. So I have the community links. I have tapped organizations, group of people, group of professionals who are not yet having their full-time job. those who are willing to participate. So that is why I have this community-based reading project. So why community-based reading project? So why did I created this community-based reading project? So first is to address the reading concern. Um, the most vulnerable and the most problematic stage in primary grades are the key stage one, wherein they are composed of struggling readers, beginning readers, and those who are not able to read. So those are my targets in this reading program. And the concept of MKO, or are you familiar with Lev Vygotsky, a Soviet psychologist? The zone of proximal development that a child can do things with the help of the most knowledgeable others. So that is why I have included in my project the concept of MKO, or the most knowledgeable other. It is because that in a community where I am teaching, not all of the people there are educated. Some people are have reached elementary and high school. Some also finished bachelor's degree. So the only person that can help me to help learners as well to read are those the most knowledgeable other, or those people who are um, a graduate of a bachelor's degree, or someone who finished or has more knowledge than the rest who did not go to school. So these people are senior citizens, rather. These are professionals who are not working in the community, but they can share their ideas. So this is the concept of the MKO, or the most eligible order of the of Lev Vygotsky. So the project objective, my first project objective is that to provide support addressing learners' need in reading and develop micro skills in reading to macro skills. So there's a big difference between micro skills and macro skills in reading. So when we talk about micro skills, these are the basic skills or the subsets in order that the macro skills or the bigger skills can be solidified or can be formed progressively, because reading is a progressive learning. Reading is progressively developing. So, which means to say that we need to focus teaching learners the basic before jumping to the macro skills. So, which means to say they need to identify letters, they need to sound the letters, they need to associate letters so that they'll be able to read. They'll be able to write, they'll be able to communicate, and they'll be able to express and share thoughts or communicate, which is very important in the 21st century skills. As you know, communication is very important. So when we talk about communication, it has a lot to do with things in sharing or expressing. And one of the things there in communication skills is reading. When you cannot read, you cannot interpret, you cannot analyze, which means to say that you cannot share your thoughts, you cannot express well and communicate well. But if a child can communicate, can read, can express his or her thoughts, well, a child can view the world in his or her perspective. Okay, so my next project objective is that enables learner to read in a fun and engaging way. So for me as a teacher in primary, gone are the days of teaching um, learners in text-to-text reading. So what I do is that I create or I devise instructional materials that very not expensive, but rather indigenous materials that I can pick around the corner. So just like say for example, um a milk box that I created last time. I created a milk box. No, I created a learning materials or a device wherein I put letters and numbers where a child can play on it and then associate. So later on, I will present some pictures of it so that you will see what are those do it your own learning materials. So next is to promote community service, helping learners in the community in time of the pandemic and the concept of MKO. So that is why I created this community-based reading project. As you all know, teachers cannot really, it takes a village to raise a child, rather. So which means to say that we need to help each other so that a child can be able to communicate well. So reading is one of the skills that we need to focus on developing. That is why I'm not only teaching as a teacher, because we cannot go to places or go outside the school. It's because of the health and safety protocol. We need papers, we need documents, we need to make sure that the place is safe for the kids. We need to secure papers first with the community chief and the health chief so that um we can go to places or areas that we wanted to share reading. Next is to intensify reading program to help learners in key stage 1 develop the love for reading and become independent learners and able to read, share thoughts, and comprehend. So the only way for me to help learners love reading is to put some ways in order that the child could read with fun and engaging way. So that is why I created it play based, which means to say that, let's say for example, I have a big mat with alphabets. So when I ask the child or the kid to tap just like a twister, you need to tap letter A, and then the kid will play letter A, and then together with a partner, look for letter B, and then, or anything that makes it sense or makes it fun for them to read a particular stage or process. Because my reading innovation is not just only for I go to a place and then I put it right there. No, it's not like that, because I also ask assistance to the community people, wherein I ask them to, if they're available, so that they can also volunteer. So I create stations. Let's say, for example, for station one, these are groups of people who will teach the kids about grapheme. The next station will be about alphabets. The next station will be about sounding alphabets. The next station will be about um, combination of sounds, or the consonant and vowel, or CVC pattern. And the next station will be um, another group of people who will hold a particular activity that is basic reading and spelling. So which means to say that whenever I clap my hands, because I am the one who organizes that one, I'm also part of the reading innovation. And as part of it, every time that I implement, every time that I go to places, I am with my team. So which means to say that whenever I clap my hands for after 30 minutes, so we make sure that changing stations will happen. So whenever that we see a child is not really learning for a particular task or on that particular station, so we need to put him back or her back to the basic station. So it's like going into a particular station if they'll be able to learn those tasks in a specific station. So next, why reading needs to be fun. So for me, that is why I associated positive psychology. It is because as a teacher, if you will teach your learners to be, if you will provide them things that they'll will make them happy, learning becomes successful and effective. I believe on that. Do you believe that learning becomes successful when your learners are happy? Anyone would like to agree with me? Hello?
Yes, yes, agree.
Okay, thank you so much. It's just so strange that everyone's very quiet. So I'll continue. So whenever
Yeah, I'm
there's
agree too.
thank you. So I prefer
I agree.
teaching. Thank you so much. I
Yes, I
prefer
am agree
teaching that
too.
whenever a learner is happy, so there's successful learning. That is why we have a child-friendly school here in the Philippines. All the schools are child-friendly, which means to say there's no bullying, there's nothing. We make sure that everything is friendly, everything is safe, so that learners will have to learn things that they love in the school. They will learn to love the school. They will learn to love the also their classmates, because they don't bully, they don't discriminate. So that becomes a positive psychology, which means to say that whenever that feeling is present, um, things that you're teaching is really effective. So that is why in reading, we have to make sure that learners aren't just looking for the text to text reading, because for me, reading is effective if I am going to put it into an effective, into an engaging, artistic, and expressive way of learning. So the fun way of learning reading is when you associate it with um, simple tasks or games. So that's why I incorporated positive psychology, because I really believe that when a child is happy, I always get this 100% satisfaction in teaching. So another is why reading needs to be fun. Promotes positive environment, safe space, and helps learners to love learning, especially reading while having fun, associating concepts. Okay, so why is the reason uh, what's the reason behind why I have also asked community links to most especially police officers. I ask the presence of police officers to help me when it comes to my reading project, soldiers in the community who also volunteered, teachers, even teachers from other school who would like to volunteer, they're open. I'm open for accepting them. I did that on purpose. It is because during the time of the pandemic, I am also my reading project is also good for women and kids. It is because I am raising awareness and voice for child abuse. So when there's fun and engaging reading, learners in the community will be able to express themselves. They will be away from danger, from let's say for example rape, because that's very rampant in some of the communities nowadays, most especially in time of the pandemic. So that is why I created this kind of reading project, not just for learning to read, but also for empowerment for children and for those who are abused. That is why whenever they're part of my reading program, they're all happy, they're all expressing, and I can see that there's positive things happening in my reading project, and a lot of people are donating materials from a reading project. A lot of people are participating because they see that it's effective, and it's creating it's creating a voice in the community that we help. We're not just teachers in the school. We're also teachers outside the school. So we're creating a sphere of obligation, not just in our school, but also in the community where we teach. So I don't just stay in a particular community. I go places to places. So, what is the idea behind play based learning, positive psychology? Do it yourself learning devices in reading project. So, a fun, interactive, and engaging reading or learning promote positive feelings. I do agree with this one. And a happy learner is a successful learning. Creating your learning devices can be fun and effective considering progressive development. It is because the idea behind play-based learning is that I really wanted to teach kids in a fun and engaging way, because I disagree with the idea of teaching kids with coercion or forcing them, because there's nothing will be taken as an idea or an information when a child is sad or upset. But if a child is happy and working well with other people, or with other kids, with the activity, they're doing their best. I think that's one boosting or empowering learning that will be able to help them to communicate their thoughts, to share their thoughts, and be confident of themselves. So here is my 8 weeks community-based reading curriculum. So for week one, disregard the station 1 to 8. This is 8 weeks curriculum of my reading community base. So the first week, I prioritize for the alphabet knowledge, and for the alphabet knowledge, the station is composed of grapheme that will hold one group of people in the community who would like to volunteer, because I have lots of volunteers working with me. The next station is all about letter writing. The third is letter name. The fourth is letter identification and tracing. So that will take us 1 week to develop these skills. These are micro skills. Okay, so the alphabet knowledge, followed by week two, we have phoneme introduction. So for the first station, we have letter sound. The second station, we have letter identification. The third station, we have letter association, letter sound. On week three, we have phoneme manipulation, composed of letter sound and association of picture and the initial letter sound or object. So in this particular week, um, are you familiar with the idea of creating a mantra? When creating a mantra, most especially those kids who doesn't know how to read letters, for them to be able to remember the letter or a particular symbol of the alphabet is that allow them to draw letters on the air. So using their fingers, pointing their fingers above, you have to draw letter A like this, and then followed by the name of the letter and the sound so that it will register to their mind that okay, the strokes, this one is letter A and this is the sound of letter A. So that week we teach that in that particular week. On week four, we have phonemic awareness, onsets, rhymes, rhyming words, initial and ending letter, vowel and consonants or and associations. Week five, we have phonological introduction wherein since they're able to manipulate consonants and vowels and they identify letters and the sounds, they can now produce words, the CVC pattern or the most basic one, word formation and word combination. So on the sixth week, we have phonological awareness because after introducing, we're now going to um, jump to a higher level of learning, which is a sentence construction, but just it depends on the child because what I do is just a small or short sentence. And then spelling, it's up to you if you'd like a spelling which is 2 to 3 words or 4 words or five no, not that one, but rather letters, 4 letter words or five. Simple word association, writing, and composing phrases. On the seventh week, we have reading, full word approach, Marunko approach, if you're familiar of the Marunko approach. We also have the Cartilla approach, wherein the B and A, B and O, that's Cartilla approach here in the Philippines, which is common here in the Philippines, the Cartilla approach. Reading with comprehension and short stories. On the eighth week, the station 8, assessment and reading evaluation or reading assessment. So at the end of the community-based reading project, we are expecting that a child is ready and now dependent. Even the most basic CVC pattern of reading, we're glad to uh, have it as a success for our reading implementation. So I started my reading program last December. So um, because of the pandemic, because of the health and safety protocol, we have this stop and go in the community, but we are still continuing it. I am still receiving donations from other people who would like to share and impart their generosity, most especially when it comes to learning materials. And by providing with those materials, the writing materials, the pencils, the pad that we're going to use, uh, for me it's we're having a very positive result along with my colleagues, along with my members, along with the organization in this reading project. So here are some pictures that I can show you. So this is an example of a play based reading um project that I actually create the math. I create them with handmade. So I art I cannot it's a humble brag that I am sharing this one, but I do create all the materials that I am using in the community. So every time that I go there, I make sure that I have different materials that will be suited for the skills that we are going to develop for that particular week. So which means to say, if that is all about the alphabet introduction, that's more on the alphabet introduction. So as you can see the pictures here, they're participating, they're learning, they're engaging. So it's a fun way. And my community support, I have volunteers from different groups of people in the community. I have teachers. I have young professionals who are fresh graduate but are not yet employed. I also have people who are helping me, riders in the community. They also give time for the community service. They participate in my reading project, and that's very nice and interesting because I'm actually creating an impact. We're calling community volunteers for this particular project because as we all know, in time of the pandemic, there's too many, or there's really a high rate of non-readers, an alarming rate of non-readers. So this one are the materials that provided by people who donated the pencil, the paper, the crayons, and all the materials that we need in our writing session or art session during the reading process.
Mr. Adora, sorry for
Yes?
interrupting. We can give you only few minutes more.
Okay, okay. And this one is the picture that I have taken. So as you can see, they're very happy. I also have the police officers in the community who are helping with me. My volunteer teachers, and these are the materials that I using. So I created that out from a milk box or a cardboard. So that's all I can share to all of you. My reading project, my community-based reading project aligned with positive psychology. Thank you so much for listening. And once again, good evening to each and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jads Adora, for your valuable presentation. And that was an informative speech. Thank you so much for joining with us today. So, dear friends, our next presenter is Ms. Wilma da Luz Barbosa from Brazil. So my good friend Wilma she's been an English teacher and coach for 17 years, and she's been taking part in many webinars, seminars, and conferences to learn and share knowledge. And also, she's a country coordinator, Brazil at Global Teachers Club and a member of many other international organizations. She's one of the, she's been here in our Global Teachers Club for a long time. She's been working on lots of international projects in which her students are able to communicate with people from all over the world. So, my good friend Wilma, over to you.
Thank you, dear Ranga. Thank you so much. Well, I'm Vilma from Brazil, as she said, and it's a pleasure being here with you all. Wow, today we have 81 people here from all different countries around the globe. It's amazing. Hi there, everyone. Was missing to see you all. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Global Teachers Club. Today, I'm going to talk about something that is really, really important. I'm going to talk about how to motivate our students, how to make them feel more confident in our classes. And I know that it has been difficult. Now the pandemic, we thought it was going, but then it is coming back. And then what can we do to make our students more confident? What are the activities that we can do to make them more motivated? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you so much. So It's our monthly gathering. Thanks everyone for being here. It's really a pleasure being here with you all. I'm Vilma Barbosa from Brazil, and motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. How to make our students more
Wilma,
confident?
we can
Yes.
see
friend,
only
sorry.
your screen.
Yes,
And
we
not
can
the
see only
presentation.
your screen. Yeah,
can
but
see the
not the
presentation?
presentation.
No presentation.
Oh,
Try again.
sorry. Okay, just a second. I think,
Mhm.
okay, just a minute. I have two screens, I think. Okay, I'm gonna, just a second. I'm gonna move it there. Mhm. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see the presentation now.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much. Thank you. Well, let's get started again. Okay, so there it is. So how to motivate our students, how to make them more confident? To make our students more confident, we can model to them. Students will often reflect the behaviors modeled to them. In other words, they will become like you. So how you present yourself matters. And we have also to be prepared for our classes. Believe that what you teach is important. Tell your students how to content you teach will help them in real life. Have your lessons plans written out and ready to implement. And have all necessary materials in line for your lessons. Make sure your technology equipment is working. Ensure that links to websites and videos clips are not broken. Maintain an order desk. Keep all supplies and resources where they belong in the classrooms. So, and the next important part is to accept mistakes. Never correct the students while he or she is speaking. The best way to communicate is by the way you react when you yourself make blunders in the classroom. I know that there are some teachers who are always trying to be the perfect model. Sometimes we are afraid of making mistakes. Sometimes we want to be the perfect teacher. But in fact, we have to be cool about that because we are not perfect. We are just human beings. And when we make a mistake in the classroom, if you deal with that in a normal way, if you laugh about that, then our students will realize that we are human beings like they are, and they will feel more confident when they make mistakes as well. When you make an error, make it a non-issue. Acknowledge it, correct it, and move on. Talk about missteps you've made in your past and what you learned from them. It's important for students to know that even adults aren't perfect. Accept your students' mistakes with grace. Just take them in stride as a natural part of learning. Never tolerate a student snickering or laughing when a classmate makes a flaw. Talk to the student after class and make sure he or she understands why it is unacceptable and not culture of your classroom. And another really important thing to make our students motivate and to believe in themselves is to praise and encourage our students. Here, I prepare a certificate for our students when, for example, this one, she was the only one who had done all the homework. I had asked them to do lots of homework. And that week, she was the only one who had done all the activities I had asked them. And then I prepared a certificate for them. And guess what? The next week, most of them brought their homeworks done because they also wanted to have the certificate Brenda had the week before. So it's a wonderful way to motivate them to do the exercise, to be active. Some specific words of affirmation that we can use. Excellent choice of words in the sentence, very vivid description of the main character. What a unique drawing. I like your color contrast. What an engaging opening paragraph. Even the small things. If we say that we are happy with them, that we are happy that they are getting the things done, and even the micro things that they are getting, it's important to them. I noticed your kindness, or Maria, in class today. If they realize that we are paying attention to all the actions that they are doing, all the simple gestures, all the simple action toward their colleagues, they will become happy and become more confident and motivated. And then there are many ways that we can say we can prepare certificates for them. Challenge your students academically. So even if you have a class that they are A1, they are just in the beginning, always ask them to do activities that you are used to ask for the advanced ones. For example, some years ago, I used it to ask my students to make videos and audios, just the ones that were in intermediate and advanced level. But then I realized that if I asked the ones who were in the basic level, they would be able to prepare the videos, to prepare the audios like the other ones were they doing. And then I realized that the more I push them doing things, the better their result will be. So today, even the ones from the basic level are making videos and the activities that the advanced ones do, because they are also able to do that. When you give students work that stretch them intellectually, forcing them to think in a deeper level or to think outside the box, you're communicating to them that you believe they're up to the tasks. This boosts their self-confidence. Students will usually raise to meet our expectations. If we don't think they can learn much, they likely won't. If we think they can learn in a great deal, they likely will. Our nonverbal language often speaks louder than words. Students pick up on our attitudes and beliefs very quickly. We don't have to verbalize that we think they're incapable or performing work beyond a certain level. By not challenging them, not giving them higher level work, we're already communicating that we don't believe in themselves. I know that sometimes they are afraid of doing some kind of activities, mainly communicate in English. In my case, I teach English, then sometimes they are terrified about that. They don't want to communicate, but then I try showing them that they are able to that. I try making them more motivated and more confident. Because no kid is unsmart. Every kid's a genius at something. Our job as teachers is to find it and then encourage it. And we should allow our students opportunities for success. Here, I have bringing my students to international meetings, and nowadays they are not just talking about their countries. They are in the meetings being the moderators. They are there being the speakers. And here in this session, two of my students, they sing really well. And then here it's a session, my student was singing a song, and here as well my other student was singing. He was singing a song in Portuguese, and there she was singing a song in an English song, and then she was being able to communicate and to talk about the song and to express them herself. In the beginning, she was afraid of singing even in class. She was terrified about that, but I realized that she could do that in a really good way. She sings really well. And then I started motivating her to sing in class. And today, Hayani is one of my students who is with me in the international meetings, in international events, singing and talking to people from different countries. And she's doing that in a comfortable way. She's very motivated to do that. And I am really, really proud of them, as I am proud of Felipe. And here, it is a project that Linda brought to us. Thank you, Linda, for this amazing project. Here, my students were talking with a girl from the United States. That was the first time they talked with a native speaker, And in the beginning, they were afraid of that because they knew they were able to communicate with people in English, but they were afraid of communicating with a native. They didn't know if they were able to do that. And when they talked with her, she was so friendly, she was so kind with them. And after the meeting, they were like, oh my gosh, we are able to do that. We can do that. And then they were motivated to come to international meetings, to communicate with anyone. Some of them need the English for work, and now they are communicating in a free way because of these projects. But in the beginning, they were terrified about that. They were really afraid. And here, my students, like your students, I think most of you have been working with international meetings. This is the best way to motivate our students to communicate, because they realize they are able to communicate, they are able to understand others, and others are able to understand them. So they become motivated to learn because they know they can do that. And the meetings help a lot. And I am so thankful to Global Teachers Club, because this is the group that I got started, and I met many different teachers here. And from this group, that I got started with the international meetings. And today I am a much better teacher. I am a much better person because of these meetings, because many of you brought me to the meetings. You invited me to bring my students, and today they are much more motivated, and I am much more motivated, a much more motivated teacher as well, because of you, because of this opportunity. And I also work with lots of projects with them, and that motivates them a lot. This is a project my student worked, caring about others project. And this is in this project, we sent these pictures to students in Gaza last year when they were having problems there. Then we were in touch with a teacher from Gaza, and then we sent the pictures, and in this way they felt more confident, and they felt happy that they were helping other kids somewhere who were suffering. And I also worked with them the importance of believing themselves, the importance of being positive. It doesn't matter the problems that you have to find a positive way. Because of the pandemic, I'm sure your students out there had the same problems as mine, but I had many problems with students. They had many problems. Their friends, some of them were trying to suicide. Some of them were having problems at home because they were stuck because of the pandemic. And then I realized that they were suffering. And when I realized that, I usually stopped my class and were able to talk with them, to motivating them to study, but also to live their lives with their family and trying to communicate and solve problems with them. One thing that I love working with are the SDG projects. They are really, really important to motivate our students. This project here, I work with my students, and then here we were working with the SDG 5, empowering a woman. Here, my students, they are in a private school. So sometimes they came to class complaining that their lives are not good, that they have many problems, that their parents don't do what they want, and this kind of things that sometimes rich people complain about. And then we started working with this project. We chose a girl, this woman in a community, in a poor community, and we made with her a Queen Day. What is that? We got her a special day in a spa, and then she had the bath in a bathtub, massage, hair done, her nails done, and a makeup and hair. And then by the end of the day, we got some pictures, professional pictures, and kind of book from the professional pictures. And then after these projects, I realized that my students were they were thinking about their lives and they were grateful. I heard from one of them, I think it was Enrique, who said, "Teacher, I used to complain a lot about my life, that I didn't have the toys that I want or something like that. But when I met Marta, I realized that I have everything in my life, and I shouldn't complain about these kind of things, because Marta is a poor girl and she was really, really happy and grateful. And the beautiful thing is that when she talked with them, um, she was giving them compliments. Wow, Henrique, you are so beautiful. Congratulations. You are so smart and intelligent. And then they could realize that they were making the difference into her life. And then I could change their minds relating to many different aspects. And that's the important thing about being a teacher, that we can change lives. We don't just work with books and making negative sentence and completing the exercise in the book. We have the power to change the students' lives. We have the power to change the communities around them, the community's life. And that's a really beautiful thing about being a teacher. And with this kind of projects, we motivate our students to learn. We motivate them to live in a different way, in a better way. Another important thing is to foster our... Yes,
I'm
dear?
sorry for interrupting. 5 more minutes for your presentation. Just to
Okay.
remind.
I'm gonna
Just
run with that. All right. Foster creativity in class is another really important thing that we can do to motivate them. So here they had some exercise in the book, and then they were supposed to match the name of the picture with the name of with the word in English in the book. But then I had the idea of asking them to bring their clothes from home, and then I prepared the sleeve of papers with the name of with the vocabulary, and then they were supposed to I prepared a game, boys and girls, and then they had to match the names with the piece of clothes, and they were so happy. They got dressed with the clothes, and then they were supposed to describe what the other ones were wearing, and then they were super motivated with this kind of activity. And we have to affirm our students. How can we do that? Listen to them, respecting them, and accepting them as they are in terms of individual personalities and interests. Ask them about their families and personal lives. Affirming your students plus valuing what they have to say in their writing journals and in creative writing activities they do in your class. Remember that a student's writing is a reflection of who they are, so be sensitive in how you respond to their work. When you affirm your students by listening, respecting, and accepting them as they are, you communicate with them, you show them that you care about them, and then they get more motivated, they get more confident in themselves, and they trust you. If they trust you, they come to your class and they are open-minded to learn whatever you want to teach them. I'm almost finishing, I promise. So give your students jobs. A good way is to bring your students to do the works for you. You are the teacher there, but they can be your co-teachers. They can help you whatever you need. If you show them that you trust them to do the things for you, you will have helpers, and then things will be much more, will be easier. Okay. And the most important thing is that we teach our students to believe in themselves. If we teach our students that they are able to do anything, they will do that, and they will become more confident, they will become motivated, and then they will be happy. If the students are happy, the teacher is happy, everything is happy, everyone is happy, and then this way it's an easier way to be a teacher out there. I know that sometimes it's really difficult. I know that now the pandemic is kind of coming back. We don't know what will happen this year, but if we believe in ourselves, and if we teach our students to believe in themselves, everything will be okay, and everything will be the best way possible. That's all from my side. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear friend Wilma. That was a very, really innovative ideas we got. We were able to get new techniques. Thank you so much for your valuable presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, dear teachers, now this is the interaction session. if you have anything to ask or any clarifications, our presenters are ready. Yes, this is the Q&A session.
I have a question. Well, I saw that you sent the link for pinning and then showing where we are. I love it, the idea, and I was wondering, would that be possible teaching us how to do that? I don't know about the others, but I don't know how to do that. And as we work with the international meetings, that would be amazing. Can you imagine? Last year I had around 50 different countries in meetings. Can you imagine how wonderful would that be if we could do this virtually, like showing the students that they were able to talk with different parts of the world? Do you think that would be able to teach us how to do that maybe in the next gathering or something like that? I would love to learn how to
Sure.
do that.
No problem. No problem. I can take care of it. It's not difficult. So
Really?
if they yes it took me, let's say, 2 minutes, because I just
What? Really?
it
Oh
was
my gosh,
it was like
it's
I was just
amazing.
thinking how many people we have today. So okay, let's create a map and we will add
Wow.
our faces, and I did it in the meantime, to be honest. So yes, it's
I
very
have to
simple.
learn that.
I can, no problem. I can if they ask me to be a speaker, then I can show some ideas that are very useful and very quick to do. And
I vote you to be the next speaker. Who else? Thank you.
I think we can do it.
Thank you so much. That would be really valuable.
Great, thank you. And I would like, when I'm, well, I am allowed to speak now, so I would like to thank you, Wilma, sorry, I don't want to make a mistake, Wilma, and Jazz, am I saying it correctly? The presentations were really interesting, engaging, and I am not surprised that you were talking and Iranga had to stop it somehow, but this was really incredible. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you.
Okay, and I am muting myself.
Mr. Khan from Bangladesh. Mr. Khan, do you have a problem? A question?
Thank you very much. Maybe Iranga or Iranga from, say, Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for giving me chance to say something. Actually, I have not any question. I just express my feelings about Vilma and Jazz, because in their Jazz session, I have learned from him that the learning through play, it is very important for the learners. And from the Vilma, we should not correct the mistakes when our learners speak something. It is very important technique from I have learned today, and thank you very much, the presenters, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am Inamullah Khan from the Bangladesh, and thanks a lot the authority. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable comments. So I think this will be the end of our program. So I would like to invite Naomi to announce the next speakers. Naomi.
Yeah, thank you, Iranga. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Vilma, for the presentation. Yes, it's so nice to see you all after a long time. And let me tell you that next month we're going to have Paola Perez from Argentina and also Shamim from Malaysia. So those are the amazing teachers that are going to be with us next month. So I hope to see you all here. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you so much, Naomi. So I invite you all for our next gathering in February. So thank you all for joining here with us today. Goodbye, all. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend.
Goodbye. Thank you
Bye,
for being
everyone.
here.
Thank
See you next
you.
time.
Safe.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Lovely.